Hi, I'm Janice Switlo, and today I want to share with you Red Jacket's commentary on the spiritual beliefs of Native Americans, his statement in 1805. So I'm going to read a little bit of this and talk about it, and it pertains to what's going on today, especially with the ANGA, the Anishinaabe Nation Governance Agreement. So those who are interested in that subject will find this also of assistance, I hope. So, Red Jacket was going through the background of how great life was as their nation and their children. And he said, but an evil day came upon us. Your forefathers crossed the great water and landed on this island. Their numbers were small. They found friends and not enemies. They told us they had fled from their own country for fear of wicked men and had come here to enjoy their religion. They asked for a small seat. We took pity on them, granted their request, and they sat down among us. We gave them corn and meat. They gave us poison in return. The white people, brother, had now found our country. Tidings were carried back and more came among us. Yet we did not fear them. We took them to be friends. They called us brothers. We believed them and gave them a larger seat. At length their numbers had greatly increased. They wanted more land. They wanted our country. Brother, continue to listen. You say that you are sent to instruct us how to worship the Great Spirit agreeably to his mind, and if we do not take hold of the religion which you white people teach, we shall be unhappy hereafter. You say that you are right and we are lost. How do we know this to be true? We understand that your religion is written in a book. If it was intended for us as well as you, why has not the Great Spirit given it to us? And not only to us, but why did he not give it to our forefathers, the knowledge of that book, with the means of understanding it rightly? We know only what you tell us about it. How shall we know when to believe, being so often deceived by the white people? Brother, you say there is but one way to worship and serve the Great Spirit. If there is but one religion, why do you white people differ so much about it? Why not all agreed, as you can all read the book? Brother, we do not understand these things. We are told that your religion was given to your forefathers and has been handed down from father to son. We also have a religion which was given to our forefathers and has been handed down to us, their children. We worship in that way. It teaches us to be thankful for all the favors we receive, to love each other, and to be united. Think about the doctrine of discovery in the context of that. How are we to believe you? You're telling us, what this is about. And further it says, brother, you say you have not come to get our land or our money, but to enlighten our minds. Well, we know that not to be true. He was correct to be cautious and to say, how can we believe you? The doctrine of discovery, saying that you were never nations, you were never even fully developed as human beings, you could never govern yourselves, you were like beasts of the field. You were just there, and white supremacy, if you will, white manifest destiny says we are able to push you aside. Now in the United States, there was actually a removal act passed. In Canada, we have Section 35 doctrine where courts have changed and amended the Constitution to add in provisions that under that doctrine change it to become and create it actually a removal doctrine. And I've spoken about that in another episode. So the important thing here, and I forgot to read this part, and I'll do so now. Our eyes were opened and our minds became uneasy. Wars took place. Indians were hired to fight against Indians, and many of our people were destroyed. What do you think these self-government processes are about? Indians have been hired inside of corporate structures that were set up under Canadian governments. And these people have been hired to actually do you in. They don't see that, they don't understand that perhaps. They believe perhaps that they're actually fulfilling the instructions of those that may now be passed, of what elders have said. And as I have described in the example of the ANGA, the Anishinaabe Nation Governance Agreement, that nothing in there reflects the Indigenous way of being, of governing, of self-governing. In fact, it is a capitulation, a giving up, and recognizing that you don't have that. You're exercising this only because Canada will permit it by first incorporating you as artificial legal entities, artificial persons. Indigenous nations are not artificial. They've been here for thousands and thousands of years. Their constitutions, not written, have survived that time and are the oldest living constitutions in the world. So take caution. Be careful of those who have been hired to fight against you. It may not be physical warfare. You may not be taking up weapons against each other. These weapons, however, are contained in these documents. And it's critical to understand that what you may have thought you were going to be doing, those who have negotiated these things, for example, or those who have trusted in those negotiating them to actually fulfill the instructions and the desires and to further your actual governance, to further your jurisdiction, to cast off the interferences by Canada. That's not what happens with the ANGA. You're actually accepting all of those interferences and saying, this is the only thing we can do. And that's all I have to say.